Good morning again. You know, as I continue my own personal journey down the dark night of the soul, one of the things I've begun to learn is that we all take life way too seriously. So as I was preparing to record this morning, I noticed that my video app had a nice little illustration that depicts a piece of that dark night of the soul. But I'm going to turn them off for now. Bye, ladies. There is a piece of it that's about figuring out your own dark and your own light. And knowing how they work together, and knowing how the lessons learned from the darkness can serve the light. Okay, I started on a tangent, because this is episode 2 of my series DarkKnight, Knight, of the soul. And what I want to do today is talk about what the dark night, Night, of the soul is. The term was originated by a 16th century mystic by the name of St. John of the Cross. He wrote a poem entitled Dark Night of the Soul, which is interpreted as a 8-stanza description of the journey to enlightenment. And I have the poem here, and I want to read one stanza from it. And remember, this poem is about the journey to enlightenment, the journey to be closer to God. On a dark night, kindled in love with yearnings, oh, a happy chance, I went forth without being observed, my house being now at rest. In darkness and secure by the secret ladder, disguised, oh happy chance, in darkness and in concealment, my house being now at rest. In the happy night, in secret, when none saw me, nor I beheld aught, without light or guide, save that which burned in my heart. That's the piece I want to talk about. Without light or guide, save that which burned in my heart. I think what St. John of the Cross is talking about in that particular piece is that no one can tell you the exact path you have to take. You have to look for the light within yourself and follow it. The dark night of the soul for me, sometimes I feel a little bit like when someone's talking to a child who's getting ready to have their tonsils out, and you tell them there'll be ice cream. Yeah, there'll be ice cream. There'll be pain. I don't want to make it too pretty. I'm not sure that all depression is a dark night of the soul. And hear clearly that I don't recommend, if you're deep in depression, that you only pursue the pathway that's a part of the dark night of the soul. Sometimes it's chemical balance. I'm not a mental health professional. But I do suggest, if you seek help from a professional, try to find one who's cognizant of spiritual journeys as well as mental health. I think many of our mental health providers, the techniques work under the assumption that you're helping someone who's gotten out of touch with their human happy side, their balanced side, and you're trying to get them back to where they were, or back to where they could be if they had been a balanced person, not thrown out of balance. But the dark night of the soul is not about going back to where you were. The dark night of the soul is about moving forward to what you can be, to what you might be. I assume it's a little bit like birth. Imagine what it must be like for a soul that's been chosen to be incarnated as a human being, to give up the existence as a spiritual reality, free, all the freedom that comes with, to be placed in a corporal form, to enjoy 9 months with a beautiful bonding between another living being that you may never be able to replicate again. And then there comes the mystery of birth. And it ain't easy for mama, and it ain't easy for baby. It's got to be pretty terrifying to crawl your way, to be pushed into a cold world after the safety and security of the mother's womb. I'm not through my dark night of the soul, but I've kind of reached the point where I feel like I'm a baby that's already been through most of the birth canal, and I'm looking over my shoulder saying, I can see the light! That's what I want to tell you all. If you find yourself in the dark night of the soul, or what you suspect is the dark night of the soul, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I want this particular video to be a little bit of a practical piece and talk to you about what you can expect. Because I believe, from my experience, from what I've read, that the dark night is about releasing the things that have held you back, internal things more than external things. In my case, I've had to face fears, old fears. I've had to face old programming about what my limitations were that were ingrained in me that I see aren't true. Those limitations are only there because I expect them to be there. I've had to find forgiveness for people that I didn't fully realize I hadn't forgiven. I've had to wake in the night, reliving moments of terror that were so bad at the time that they were buried and forgotten. But they've still laid there waiting, not to torment me, but to help me grow. What's the light at the end of the tunnel? I'm seeing glimpses. Part of it is about being able to keep things in perspective that I couldn't keep in perspective before. Basic daily things of life that used to terrify me. Financial setbacks, the refrigerator going out, worrying about health, worrying about lots of things. It doesn't have the power over me that it once did. I think there are mystical elements as well. I've had some amazing experiences in my life. I may tell some of those stories in other sessions. I've had my life saved by a disembodied voice twice. Been 2 other times where I've helped rescue people because of what I was told to do. I've seen healing. I've seen guidance. I've seen premonitions. I've had mystical experiences. But going through the dark night of the soul seems to make me more in touch with that intuition, that empathy, that piece of myself that I'd had glimpses of, but never was fully in control. Perhaps control is not the right word. In touch with. I'll keep this series up. I ain't done with my dark night. And I hope there's some of you out there that are making the journey with me. And again, I will say, I firmly believe that those of us called to make this journey, who come through on the other side, through our dark night, to become what we're supposed to be, that perhaps we are the ones that can help humanity take the next step to become something better.